Good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank you for joining us. The webinar will start in 5 minutes. Thank you. Alrighty. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Dominic Powers with the Virginia Infant and Toddler Specialist Network. I want to thank you for joining us. Our webinar today will be on building your professional portfolio for infant and toddler caregivers. Any questions or trouble logging in, please use your text box below. All lines will be muted. I will now turn the attention over to your presenters. Thank you.
Thanks, Dominic. Welcome to this webinar sponsored by the Virginia Infant and Toddler Specialist Network. You must log into the webinar using the link provided in your registration confirmation. Handouts can be found on our website, www.va-itsnetwork.org. As a participant, in order to hear the webinar, all lines have been muted. Throughout the webinar, you may type questions for our presenters. You may type your questions using the chat box off to the side. As time allows, we will try to answer some of your questions. If you have a technical question, it will be answered as it is received. First, I wanted to take care of a few logistical details. As I mentioned, you may want to type questions for the presenters by using the chat box. If you're having technical difficulties, you may let us know by using the chat box. And in this webinar, we will be asking you to participate by using the Raise Your Hand feature or by taking a poll. When we get to that portion of the webinar, we will give you further instructions. I just wanted to introduce our presenters. Our first presenter is Dr. Christy John from the Eastern region. I am Lisa Dunn. I'm from the North Central region, and with me is Paula Belleville from the North Central region. We are all infant toddler specialists who work within these regions to help promote quality of care. So let me take a few minutes to tell you a few things about the Virginia Infant and Toddler Specialist Network. The Virginia Infant and Toddler Specialist Network strives to achieve excellence in early care by increasing the knowledge level and skills of those who care for infants and toddlers in family homes and in centers. There are 20 highly qualified infant and toddler specialists that work in 9 regional offices across the state. The specialists provide 3 levels of service designed to strengthen the capacity of early care and education programs to deliver high-quality services. Programs who receive services from the Virginia Infant and Toddler Specialist Network have achieved measurable outcomes that indicate improved quality of care for infants and toddlers. For more information about how to work with the Virginia Infant and Toddler Specialist Network at your program, or to find out who your infant toddler specialist may be, you can visit our website at www.va-itsnetwork.org. As we look at our learning objectives for the day, we are going to talk about how you can fill your professional toolbox with new resources and incentives that are offered by the Virginia Infant and Toddler Specialist Network. And we're also going to discuss how to build a solid professional portfolio through intentional goal setting. Professional development is an important way to continue enhancing our lives with experiences, knowledge, and credentials. It's a way for us to establish ourselves in the industry, make a mark on our community, and the well-seasoned professional has built many different professional development structures in their life, each one of them leaving them with new perspectives, experiences, and possibilities. During this webinar, we will be your general contractors and designers, showing you many available build options and helping you to find the right personal fit for your lifestyle and budget. We will be comparing building a professional development portfolio to building a house. Choosing the right neighborhood and house for you can ensure that you're investing wisely and working towards the strongest, most practical choice for you. Just like with any big decision, the building of a professional development portfolio takes some planning. We must know a lot about ourselves as professional builders and the tools we have available in our toolbox to choose the best plan for our future. If this concept of building is brand new to us, our brain may be in overdrive, not knowing where to start. How do we know where to go first? Having a professional development blueprint in place can help us map out what needs to happen first. Some of us already have a solid foundation and are just looking to build up, while others are still deciding where to start. We must know our preferences, strengths, and limitations before beginning any project. What tools do we already have? Can I do it myself, or do I need someone else's expertise? What is my time frame? Do I need to be done in 6 months, or can I take my time? To help us get a better idea, we're going to have you guys participate in a poll. What kind of tools would be the most helpful in your own personal professional toolbox? You guys can answer would attending community trainings, working with a coach or mentor, or having extra money or resources for education be the most helpful? If you could type those answers into the chat box, the answers were attending community trainings, working with a coach or mentor, or money or resources for education. If you'd prefer all of them, you can put all 3. Let's see if we have some answers in our chat box. We can see that having all 3 of these things together are really helpful in creating our own professional toolbox. Despite our different preferences, there's no wrong way to build your portfolio. There will be weather delays and challenges, and sometimes the design will have to have last-minute changes. But with a plan, it's easy to find ways to overcome these challenges and to stay on schedule. I'm going to turn it over to our other speaker, Paula.
Hi, everybody. Again, thank you for joining us. As we all know, one path to improving quality and our professionalism is by going forward with our education. Well, we have some very exciting news. The Virginia Infant and Toddler Specialist Network is here to help. I would like to introduce a guest speaker, Mary Sheldon, who is our Professional Development Coordinator from our central office at Child Development Resources. Hi, Mary. Thanks for being with us on the call.
Thanks, Paula.
All right, great, you're there. Mary, I know you wear many hats, but what is it that you do that can help providers find their way in the construction zone of professional development and education?
I'm here to help providers work towards achieving their professional development goals. The network has a lot of opportunities that we can offer providers who are working with children under 36 months, and I'm here to coach and mentor and work with helping them.
I know we have many providers that are always asking about ways to get more education. On our website with the webinar information, we have many handouts that talk about your services. If I would call you, what help can you provide?
The first thing that I have providers do is to fill out our professional development interest form. And on this form, it lists all the options that I can help with. Once that form is filled out, then we can focus on that area or goal. And a lot of providers will check off each item on that form. And when we talk on the phone, I try and see where they want to start, and then we work on one or two options at a time.
I noticed in the handouts there are 3 different options you have listed. The Virginia Department of Social Services Infant and Toddler Endorsement, the Infant and Toddler Career Study Certificate, and the CDA. Can you explain the differences between these?
Yes. The Virginia Department of Social Services, the Infant Toddler Endorsement, that is 12 courses that can be taken online, or they can take it through a local infant toddler specialist. It consists of taking all 12 courses and then also completing 12 practical assessments or projects. Once all of that is completed, then you are granted your infant toddler endorsement. When you look at the career pathways on the DSS website, this is a level 2 on the IMPACT Registry. There is a fee to take these courses, but if you do them online. But if you attend a class that is actually offered through your infant toddler specialist, the class is free, and so is the grading of the practical assessment. And we're very fortunate this year as we have 11 specialists that are teaching the course. It's being taught in our Eastern, Peninsula, Central, Valley, Northern, Piedmont, and our Western region this year. So we really hope to see a lot of providers taking advantage of this great opportunity with the infant toddler endorsement. The CDA is a nationally known credential, and it is a credential that is becoming or has been a required credential for child care providers to take. The CDA consists of 120 hours of training in 8 focused areas. I work with providers to provide training either through care course books or online courses through Better Kid Care, which is also Penn State. The network is now covering these training options for providers, which is really good as they can do these courses on their own time. After the training is completed, I'm available for coaching or mentoring as they start to work on the portfolio and application process. And then we are also now paying a portion of the CDA application fee, which is a new option this year. The CDA, when you look on the IMPACT Registry, is a level 3. And then lastly, the Infant Toddler Career Study Certificate is a program through a local community college in your area to take classes about behavior, health, nutrition, language arts, and also working in a child care setting. There are 5 classes that can be taken either online or in a classroom at a local community college. Some people take these classes and continue towards additional degree programs also. The Infant Toddler Career Study Certificate is a level 4 on the IMPACT Registry.
Thank you, Mary. There is a lot of information out there and a lot of different programs that people can do. I did just want to mention that Mary did mention the IMPACT Registry and the career pathways. That is actually one of our handouts, so you can kind of go and see where you are and what level you're at, and then that helps you build your goals to increase and go up to those higher levels, so thank you. I know many of us did not even know that there were these different options out there. If I do decide on one of these options, Mary, what really would be my next step?
If anyone is interested in starting any of these, I would suggest filling out that professional development interest form that we talked about. Send that to me, and then we can work together to reach the specific goal that's in mind. And if anyone's interested in community college classes, then I would also suggest going online and researching their college and applying for admission and looking at their different program options.
Oh, that sounds great. And I know that many people out there would hopefully take advantage of all these things that we have to offer. But I also noticed that in our handout in the brochures that it also mentions incentives and scholarships. And this will take us to our next slide. So what scholarships are out there, Mary, and how do people apply?
Okay, yes, there are scholarships for the classes that are taken through the local community colleges. So if anyone is interested in the Career Study Certificate, you can take these classes and your fees and books could be covered. There are 2 scholarships that you can apply for. The first one on the screen is the Department of Social Services website, which is the www.dss.virginia.gov. And the second one is through the Virginia Early Childhood Foundation website, but it's kind of better known as the Project Pathfinders, and that's listed as www.vecf.org. Both of these scholarships open up at certain times of the year, and they do have a deadline that you have to apply. I try and work with providers who I know of that are trying to take these classes and let them know about the application deadlines and how to apply.
Thanks. I also see that the Virginia Infant Toddler Specialist Network offers incentives themselves. Can you explain that more?
Yes, we have some awesome incentives now that we offer providers who are working to complete coursework for the Infant Toddler Endorsement, the CDA, and the Infant Toddler Career Study Certificate. After providers have completed different levels of training toward the coursework, we will mail them gift cards. The Infant Toddler Endorsement offers up to $200 in gift cards. The CDA offers $400, and then the Career Study Certificate, we offer up to $1,000 in gift cards. I just need the incentive application form filled out, and then they have to send me copies of their certificates and they're also their transcript.
Wow, that sounds great. It would be so nice to get those incentives.
Yes.
Can any provider get these incentives?
Any provider who works with children under 36 months qualifies for the incentives, and also assistance with any of these professional development opportunities. You do not have to be currently working with the Virginia Infant Toddler Specialist Network, just working with children under 36 months. Incentives are also given for classes that are taken within the grant year.
Awesome. And can providers also get these incentives if they also receive some of the scholarships that you mentioned?
Yes, they can. So basically, they can take the classes through scholarships, and then through the network, they can also receive these awesome incentives after they complete certain levels.
Wow, that's great. So I did want to point out, everybody, that was Mary Sheldon talking. You see a picture of her on our screen, and there's her phone number and her email, or you can also email pd@va-itsnetwork.org or marys@cdr.org. Mary did mention some forms that need to be filled out, and so that would be the best contact for her, is either of those emails or phone number. Thank you again, Mary, for all the great information. Anything else you want to add?
Yes, I also would like to mention that we offer scholarships for our current programs that are level 1 programs to attend statewide conferences. So if you are participating level 1 programs with a center or family day home, and you're currently working with an infant toddler specialist, we can provide each program up to $300 in scholarships to attend trainings like FACE, 1, 2, 3 Read, CEPHL, Celebrating Babies and Tots, and others based on location and offerings. So if you aren't a current level 1 program, I would highly suggest that you call up one of your local specialists in your area and see about signing up with them.
Wow, that's another great advantage to working with an infant toddler specialist. You can get some of that scholarship money to go to some of these statewide events. Thank you so much, Mary.
You're welcome.
And I already mentioned how we contact you. Is there any other contact information you have?
That's it.
All right. Well, I hope everyone takes advantage of these great offerings in the state. Thank you again, Mary.
Thank you.
So going on, Mary Sheldon from Child Development Resources and its network shared some of the different professional development options available to providers. These different types of plans are designed to meet the needs of different types of professional development builders, whether you are looking for a tiny house or a grand mansion. She also gave some insight on incentives for choosing one of these pre-designed designated builds. You may find that you are a person who is happy where you currently are professionally, or someone who is looking for the next learning opportunity. That new opportunity might include one or all of the endorsement courses, or maybe you have your eyes towards an associate's degree. The resources and tools Mary discussed were created to help empower you and give opportunities to decide when the best time for you to really invest in your professional build would be and make your dream a reality. So now we have another poll coming up. Which of these best options work best for you? All you have to do is click on one. So select one. We have the infant and toddler endorsement. That's those listing sets of classes that you can take either online or through an infant toddler specialist. The CDA, the infant toddler career study certificate, or using the scholarships for Virginia community colleges. Let's see if we can have some people. If you just click on which is a good option for you, we can see what's going on in our state and what people are thinking. Well, hopefully you're all interested in something out there, because we really do want to encourage. All right, there we go. There's the results. So we're pretty evened out, but I love that so many people are interested in the infant toddler endorsement. We are definitely seeing a bigger push for that in the state, and more people that are getting involved. And so definitely contact your local infant toddler specialist or Mary Sheldon to see what is being offered in your area, because there's definitely a need for that. And definitely please take advantage of those scholarships. They're out there for us to use. So now I'm going to pass the baton on to Christy, and she's going to talk more about creating our blueprint.
Christy, are you with us?
And I'm here. Can you hear me?
Are you with us?
Chris, I'm here. Thank you so much, Paula. It's nice to see the interest levels of the different programs that Mary shared with us. And as she did mention, the infant toddler endorsement course is something that you can get face-to-face. I am one of the providers of that course, so would love to hear from you if you think you'd like to pursue that. Regardless of the portfolio that you would like to build, it could be helpful to identify what type of foundation you already have and how large you'd like to build your professional house. What if you don't know the different styles of houses to choose from? Well, you're in luck. The Virginia Department of Social Services has tools developed to help you visualize your house so you can be sure that your blueprints or your portfolio are set up to help you achieve that goal. And I'm going to share two of those tools with you today. Both of them were already mentioned by Mary, which is wonderful, so that you can see how all of these tools do work together to help you have a strong foundation. The first tool that Mary mentioned that I'll talk about is called the Career Pathways for Early Childhood. It can act as a scaffold to help you identify your current professional level and where you may want to begin or continue your build. When we're working with infants and toddlers, you wouldn't teach a running toddler how to walk. I mean, yes, they do need to be reminded when and where to walk, but they've clearly accomplished that ability already. So perhaps you would next challenge them by stomping, asking them to tiptoe, hop, or jump. So just as you think about your professional portfolio, if you've already begun building the first floor and the foundation of your house, you wouldn't want to start over and rebuild it if it already has a solid foundation. You would then maybe begin on the second floor. In construction terms, scaffolding is the temporary structure outside your house to help you build upon the frame to create additional floors. If you're looking at your PowerPoint, then you can see what a scaffolding looks like in construction. Well, in education, we use that term scaffolding as well. It was first used by the theorist Lev Vygotsky, and this is to help us identify the type of help one might need to accomplish your next level of knowledge or development. So this applies to the work that you do with your children, but also in your professional build as well. So when you're looking at the career pathways, you see a little bit of it on your screen. It is one of the handouts available on our website so you can see it in its entirety if you haven't already pulled that up. But you see there, level 1 is the yellow section, and it represents the foundation. These levels are met by, as Mary mentioned, maybe participating in 24 hours of training or other basic requirements like first aid, CPR. The next section is green, and it represents the first floors of your house and is achieved by earning anywhere from 48 to over 120 hours of professional learning. At these levels, some may have attended community college courses, you may have gotten a CDA or certification through Department of Social Services like the Infant Toddler endorsement that we discussed a few moments ago. The uppermost level is blue, not pictured on your screen, but is on your handout, and it represents the top levels of your house. Now, these levels are met by earning a formal degree in education, an early childhood education actually, and this would include an associate, bachelor's, master's, or doctoral degree, and this would need to include a number of courses that are related to working with young children. And this Career Pathways tool can help you plan your blueprint as you evaluate which tools and materials you already have, as well as setting your training, education, and career development goals so that you can be well prepared to build brains, nurture, and meet the needs of the young children that you work with. The second tool that Mary mentioned was the IMPACT Registry. So I want to just take a moment and ask you if you would take a moment and notify us in the chat box if you've heard of the IMPACT Registry. So just a simple yes or no will be helpful for us to get an idea how many of you have heard of this tool before. So hopefully you're able to find the chat box. Okay, I'll just give you another moment to go through and let us know if you've heard of the IMPACT Registry. Looks like we have a few who've heard of it, but many of you have not. That's very common. That's why we're here, and we're glad you're on the conference call today. The IMPACT Registry stands for Innovative Model for Professional Advancement and Career Tracking. So basically, this is a tool that helps to document and recognize your professional achievements of trainers as well as a child care provider who work in the field of early childhood education as well as school-age children within the Commonwealth of Virginia. So the IMPACT Registry assembles and maintains your professional path. It's reviewed by registry staff, bringing recognition and professionalism to Virginia's early childhood workforce, and you can adjust your goals based on the awarded levels that you earn. The IMPACT Registry also offers the option for members to apply for trainer approval, which would identify you as someone who has a commitment to providing high-quality professional development for the early childhood workforce. So whether you are in the classroom, if you're an administrator, or if you're one who provides professional development, this is a tool that can help you keep track of and identify you as a quality provider of child development resources. So in short, by registering, you provide your professional experiences, and through the collection of that information, the tool is able to provide you with a snapshot of the house you've been building over the life of your career. How many times have you gone back to your director, or you go to a colleague and you want to tell them about a training you've just attended and you can't remember the title or the date or some of the objectives that were shared? Well, this is a tool that helps maintain all that information for you. Perhaps you've been working on this build for quite some time and you're not really sure what you have to show for it. And this tool helps you to organize all those accomplishments and can even help you identify which level on the career pathways that you've earned so that you can see the full picture more clearly. So to learn more about the IMPACT Registry or the career pathways, you can click on you can visit the website that's on your screen, www.childcareva.com. You're going to click on the tab Providers and then choose Training and Professional Development. You'll need to scroll down until you find the two resources I shared, IMPACT and Career Pathways. There are directions and links to register for the IMPACT Registry, so that you can make your blueprint represent a solid foundation for your professional portfolio. So as you build from your foundation up, you may run into challenges like our construction worker friends. Just as they may encounter rainy days or delays in shipments, so do we in working with infants and toddlers. Our rainy days may mean that we have children with pent-up energy or delays in development that may require us to increase our knowledge of child development or make adaptations to the activities and class environment. So let's see what information will be helpful to you in your quest to build your portfolio question. So I am launching a poll here to see if we can get some information. So your choices are, which of the following would be most beneficial to your program or classroom? Information regarding challenging behaviors, expressions of emotions for the children, or sometimes maybe you, mental health information for your infants and toddlers, early mental health development, or staff wellness and stress prevention. So just take a moment to choose which one you feel like will be the most beneficial to helping you build a solid foundation for your children. I can see the results here, and it's a resounding challenging behaviors. That's not a surprise, I don't think. I'm just going to take some notes. Challenging behaviors, it looks like staff wellness is number 2, and I'm really glad to see that because sometimes we forget that it's important to care for our staff and to provide a wonderful program for them to work in the early mental health development. And if I'm not mistaken, mental health information, none of those were selected, but I think that it's safe to say that early mental health development would come with some mental health information. So thank you very much for sharing that information with us. The challenging behaviors, sometimes we just need some supports and strategies to help address those. Expressions of emotions. It's hard for infants and toddlers to regulate their emotions, and when they can't identify what those are, it makes it even more difficult for them to express them in positive ways. We know they're very good at expressing them, but it's helping them do that in a positive, constructive way. Early mental health development, I think that's beneficial for us to understand how we can promote positive development in our youngest children. And staff wellness and staff prevention, again, it's really looking at the ability of us to take care of ourselves as professionals in this field. So, when you experience some of those challenges that were described on the previous poll, we might feel like we don't know what to do or who to turn to, or if we feel like we've done everything that we know to do. Well, oftentimes construction workers don't have the expertise in every area in order to build a comfortable home. So they sometimes subcontract their work and partner with other experts in the field. Working in childcare should be no different. The Virginia Infant Toddler Specialist Network is proud to offer infant and toddler mental health consultants to support the work that you do each day. Their services are available to childcare providers at no cost, help foster social and emotional development, and prevent or address challenging behaviors. This is a wonderful program if you've not already pursued information from the Infant Toddler Specialist Network. These are individuals who do similar work as Lisa and Paula and I, and go into programs and help you on site with some of the challenges that we know that you might experience each day. Well, hopefully not each day. Hopefully it's spread out here and there. Every day is a new day, just like in construction work. You can't predict what the weather's going to be. And so the more we know about the behaviors of infants and toddlers, as well as what their development is and their capabilities, it helps us to manage our expectations. And these infant toddler mental health consultants are able to help us respond in ways that are positive, even when we're finding ourselves frustrated or unsure about what to do. These are some wonderful folks who are there to make sure that you have those resources and tools at your disposal. So if you would like to find out who your infant toddler mental health consultant is for your region, again, you can visit our website, www.vaitsnetwork.org, and click on the tab Infant Toddler Mental Health. And the line Meet the Team is a pull-down menu for you. So you can contact your regional infant toddler mental health consultant for more information. Mary mentioned that there are scholarships available for various trainings. I know in my region, we are in the middle of the CEFL training. We call it CEFL, but it's the Center for Social and Emotional Foundation for Early Learning training. There is a cost to that. There is not cost to many of the trainings that we offer, but there are a cost with a few of them, and that's one of those trainings that there is a cost, and you can apply for a scholarship, and that training is conducted by these wonderful folks that you hopefully are seeing on your screen right now. And they also have a webinar, which we'll talk about at the end, but they host webinars just like we do, and they also host conferences throughout the year. So again, there are a lot of resources and availability for you to connect with these individuals. You can invite them to come into your program. That's our most intensive service, or you can certainly use them as a resource to ask an individualized question about a child or about a particular situation, and they will provide you with resources. And, really there to listen to you. I think when I was a toddler teacher, again, you feel like you've tried everything that you know, and you probably do. I mean, I felt like I did, but it's sometimes nice to just have someone to call and say, I just don't know what to do. And what I usually found was the more I talked about what my challenging concern was, I could almost visualize the strategy that I might need to use to help either prevent or address that challenge moving forward. So I definitely highly recommend that you get in touch with one of these specialists. The other piece that is wonderful that I didn't even think to mention, but I didn't forget, is that these specialists are here for you at no cost. So it doesn't cost you anything to call on them and have you come into your program, attend their trainings, unless there is a small cost there, but definitely utilize them as a resource. So I'm going to turn it over to Paula, because she has another great resource that we'd love to share with you.
Thanks, Christy. Yes, there's definitely more. We're talking about all these great resources that the Virginia Infant and Toddler Specialist Network is offering, and we even have more. And so we have another guest speaker with us today, Janet Yang. She's from our central office, just like Mary is, and she is our Technical Assistance Coordinator. Welcome, Janet. Thank you for joining us on our webinar today.
Hi, thanks for having me.
All right, great. So Janet, I wanted to ask you a few questions so that our participants can be aware of all the great things you are coordinating. Can you briefly tell us about the technical assistance services the Infant Toddler Specialist Network provides through you?
I'd be happy to. The Virginia Infant and Toddler Specialist Network offers a variety of technical assistance services to the infant and toddler child care providers to help support high quality care. That can include starting or expanding infant and or toddler programs. So if you're thinking about opening a new infant or toddler program, or just adding a few more spaces to your existing program, we can help with that process. We can also offer assistance with creating or enhancing a breastfeeding area. This can include locating private space in your program for breastfeeding mothers to nurse or pump, training staff on breastfeeding support practices and the handling and storage of breast milk, and compiling a list of community breastfeeding resources for families. We can also help to integrate inclusion practices into infant and toddler environments. Examples of inclusion practices would include making adaptations to the environment, schedule, materials, and toys in order to promote full participation in program activities by children with disabilities. Some additional areas of assistance would include learning about best practices for the care and teaching of all infants and toddlers, assistance in planning and arranging environments, implementing curriculum, accessing resources, managing children's behavior, family engagement, compliance with licensing standards, and really many more.
Wow, Janet, that is a lot. It sounds great that, so if a program is expanding or wanting to integrate some inclusion practices and environments and creating those enhancing breastfeeding areas can really be helped by you. So that sounds really good. I see that some of these TA services may offer materials, resources, and incentives. Can you explain this a bit more?
Sure. Programs that are increasing the number of infant and toddler spaces that they have available, either through an expansion or by opening a new program, programs that are offering or enhancing a breastfeeding area, and or programs that are integrating inclusion practices into their programs will receive resources and materials to support those program enhancements. For example, programs that are expanding and are going to have additional infant spaces, they may receive items such as a new high chair and a crib or two, some crib sheets, bibs, a storage shelf, board books, a play mat and soft blocks. Those materials provided to each program will be different depending upon the technical assistance provided.
Wow, what great resources we have. I've been hearing you say TA and technical assistance. Can you really explain to our participants what this really means?
We recognize that each program has different goals, so we tailor our assistance to meet the unique needs of each site, whether it's improving the classroom environment or a program expansion. So depending upon the goals for the program, we may provide on-site consultation, teacher coaching, and classroom demonstration. We may provide a variety of early childhood resource books. We could provide assistance with assessment tools such as environmental rating scales. We may help with training or refer to online or local training options. And some assistance may also be provided online or over the phone. So technical assistance is going to look very different for each program that we work with.
Wow, that sounds great, Janet. How many hours of technical assistance can programs qualify for?
Technical assistance is approximately about 10 hours per program, but it does depend upon the needs of the program. So for example, if a program is doing expansion but also wants to work on inclusion, it would be about 20 hours for that program so that we could fully focus on both of those areas.
Now, is this technical assistance available for family providers as well as center-based programs?
Absolutely, and currently working with both family day homes and center-based programs.
Great. If anyone is interested or has questions, how do they contact you?
They can reach me at ta@va-itsnetwork.com or call me at 757-378-3167.
All right, great. And everybody, you can see that those emails and phone number are on our screen. It's y@cdr.org or ta@va-itsnetwork.org. And definitely use Janet as a resource for that technical assistance, or if you have any questions. That was a lot of great information, and I hope programs really take advantage of all these services we are offering. So now let's finish this up with Lisa.
Thanks, Paula. I just did want to comment that we are having a little bit of technical difficulty on our end and are having a little bit of trouble seeing the questions that you're asking in the chat box. So if you are asking a question and it's not being answered or doesn't get answered in this webinar, please reach out to myself or Paula or Christy or to Janet or Mary regarding your question. We're happy to answer it. I just wanted to put that out there to make sure that nobody felt like they were being ignored or that their question wasn't answered. We are using a new system for the first time, so we're excited about that, but we are working out some kinks. So I apologize if your question isn't getting answered immediately, but please reach out to us if you need to. So, we've heard a lot of information today. Mary's given us some great resources and incentives, and so has Janet, and Christy's talked to us about the IMPACT Registry and the career pathways. So, we want to look at it, we're building our professional development portfolio, and we're building it from the ground up. So you've picked out the land and you've designed the blueprints and you have all the right tools and you're ready to break ground on your new adventure. But here are some things that we want you guys to remember. Keep building with the end in mind. Envision your goal and ensure that the work that you're doing is helping build your professional portfolio to be a sound and stable structure. Too much detail in one room, for example, too many trainings in the same area, may cause your building or your portfolio to become unstable and unbalanced. You may find that you have lots of knowledge or coursework in one area, but are lacking in another. You may really prefer to go to health and safety trainings, or you might really prefer to go to inclusion trainings, but we really want to make sure that we have that house that's stable in all rooms and in all ways. Remember that even once your professional house is built, certain areas will require yearly maintenance. So just because we've taken a class or a course one time, or we've addressed a topic one time, doesn't mean that that's the end of that topic. There are certain courses that, it's good to refresh on every single year. I know that Christy and Paula and I, are doing health and safety trainings a lot because those are things that, we tend to need refreshers on every single year. You can remember that you are the architect of your house. The house can't be built without your hard work, your dedication, and your knowledge. So you can choose to add or modify your plans at any time. Review your goals to see that you're on the same path and evaluate them to make sure they still make sense for what you're hoping to accomplish. Goal writing is so important, and when we use SMART goals, we're able to have a time frame in place to be able to go back and review and question whether we've actually reached our goals in the time that we've allowed. You want to make sure you choose your crew wisely. The crew that we choose can determine whether we build a house made of brick or made of straw. We want to make sure that we have solid crew members who work as a team to help you build a strong and solid professional structure. If you are a director or an administrator, this can apply to you as an early childhood professional that you are, but also gives you the opportunity to help your staff by designing the frame for the house that best fits your program. So remember that the frame helps us see the vision and guides us as we set goals for our professional portfolio. And as a leader, as a director or administrator, the infant and toddler staff may look up to you for guidance as well as support. They may need you to help scaffold the type of knowledge that they should seek in their professional learning experiences. So pursuing activities like formal education and certifications take time and some additional expenses. And so they may look to you on how to accomplish that or where to find those resources. Remember, in your professional build, you can call on a subcontractor. Have somebody who's a professional mentor on speed dial to provide you with support as you grow. Being an early childhood educator is no easy task. Look for somebody who's experienced in many builds, or perhaps a mentor who specializes in a specific area. You wouldn't want to call a plumber to fix the roof, so know who to call when a tough situation arises. And that's why these resources are so great too. If you look at what Mary provides and what Janet provides, those are two totally different resources. So know who to call on when you need help with those specific things. Congratulations, your design is approved, the foundation is solid, and you're well on your way to a strong professional build. So no matter what type of professional house you choose to build, whether it's a small and efficient one or a large and expansive one, you want to own it. This is an investment that you're making into yourself, and you are worth the time, you're worth the energy, and you're worth the money that you're putting into it. It'll always be there for you to come back home to in the future, no matter where your path leads. Even if we choose to go on a different path beyond early childhood, we have this foundation and this knowledge to fall back on, this place to call home. So each of the resources that we discussed during today's webinar can be found on the websites listed above. Our guest speakers, Janet Yang and Mary Sheldon, are a valuable part of the Infant Toddler Specialist Network. So you can get more information about our technical assistance services or incentives and scholarships by visiting our website. There you'll also find additional information regarding our mental health consultants as well. Scholarship, career pathways, and IMPACT Registry information can be found on the Virginia Department of Social Services website, www.childcareva.com, or you can go directly to the VA ImpactRegistry.org website to get started on the registry process. You can also access the Pathfinder Scholarship Program by visiting www.vecf.org. Christy is going to help us pull up a resource page for us, or a website, hopefully. Like I said, this is us using new technology, so bear with us for just a moment if you don't mind. We're excited to be able to pull up websites and things now on the fly. She's going to take us to the Virginia Infant and Toddler Specialist Network website, hopefully. There it is. So look, it pulled us up. We're right there. We give you this information over and over and refer you back to the Infant Toddler Specialist Network website frequently during the webinar. And it's not meant to be redundant, but just as a reminder that these are great, amazing tools to help you guys. Our website is designed with you in mind. So the items on the website are really there for you to use and to be in one spot for you conveniently. Christy, did you want to talk about this, or do you want me to keep going and kind of help direct you?
You talk and I'll click.
Okay, perfect. I love that teamwork. All right, if you could click on the Professional Development tab right up there at the top of the screen. When she pulls down that Professional Development tab, we can see all of the different professional development tools that we have available on our website. Right there up at the top is where you can request on-site services with the Virginia Infant and Toddler Specialist Network. Mary had kind of mentioned them, calling them our level 1 services. This is where we have that infant toddler specialist, such as Paula, Christy, and myself, come on-site and work with you to provide training, coaching, or mentoring. Below that, you can see registration for 123 Read, which is a statewide training that we have. Some of those brochures that that Mary was referring to earlier, that back to school information, that incentive information. But also you can see where that audio conference and webinar information is in that, and I'm not, Christy, there you go. You can just see that the place where you can find the handouts from today. So if you weren't able to print those out ahead of time, that's where you would find the handouts from today. But below that, you can also see that there are also recorded webinars that we've done in the past. So if you are interested in any of those, you're able to go visit those and listen to them on your own time. The other resource that I wanted to share that we share constantly and we want everybody to know about is that tips calendar. The tips calendar is the Virginia Department of Social Services website calendar that lists all of the trainings that the Virginia Infant and Toddler Specialist Network is offering throughout the state. So if you're not familiar with that tips calendar, that's a great place to go and kind of plan out your professional blueprint if you're looking for different trainings for this year. You're able to kind of look ahead and say, okay, well, there's one next month that I would like to attend, or maybe there's one that's one city over, but you can plan out your time ahead of time and be able to see. All of the Virginia Infant and Toddler Specialist Network trainings that are on there should be listed with a VA-ITSN subheading. So as you're browsing through the tips calendar, you're able to go ahead and see which ones are being offered by the Virginia Infant and Toddler Specialist Network. If we go back to the top, we can see where that information about the infant and toddler mental health consultants was that Christy was talking about earlier. You can again see that brochure that talks about who are the mental health consultants and also the services that they're able to offer, but also the resources that they have for you guys as providers. I'm just going to have Christy scroll down to the bottom real quick just to show you. Sorry, thank you. Nope, to the bottom of the screen. I'm sorry. Bottom of the website screen. There we go. There again is that really easy place to click for on-site services, but I love these little medallions at the bottom. They really give you guys a quick way to enhance your professional development. If we look at that competencies for early childhood professionals, that is a great place. If you haven't already started a professional development portfolio or plan, that's a great book to help you kind of get an idea of to ways to bring it to the next level. So if you're looking, you're feeling kind of stagnant, or you're feeling like your build has kind of come to a halt, but you don't really know where to go next, that competencies has different levels of professionalism to help take you to that next level, and they're all designed specifically for you as early childhood professionals. So great. Was there anything else on the website that you wanted to show, Christy or Paula?
Why don't you show the different ITS, the infant toddler specialists, and the regions so they can see maybe where their region is?
Absolutely. So if we go to About Us and we click on our region, I apologize if you can hear that in the background. We work on a school campus, so there's an announcement going on, so I apologize. Here you see, if you're interested in meeting your infant toddler specialist, that you could click on your different regions. They're coded by color. You can see where they're marked throughout the state, and then it also lists them for you so that you're able to kind of, if you can't really tell where you are, that you can find the name of your county. And you might want to look at the county that you work in and the county that you live in. If you live in a different county than you work and you're in two different regions, you might want to get in touch with the infant toddler specialist in the region where you live so that you can get on their mailing list for trainings and go to trainings that are closer to your home and not necessarily just the ones that are close to your center. So Christy's going to click on Meet the ITS, the infant toddler specialist. And you can see a listing of all the infant toddler specialists and their pretty faces and where they are in their contact information. So that's a great way to get in touch with us. Again, like I said, I apologize that we aren't able to access your questions. So if you need information or you have a question regarding something that Mary or Janet or Christy or Paula or I have talked about, this is the perfect place to find our information and reach out to us so that we can get your question answered as soon as possible. Thanks, Christy. All right, I wanted to talk about, Christy's going to switch pages for us again. Thank you for being our technical guide. I wanted to talk about, there is an upcoming webinar. If you do enjoy listening to the webinars during the day to get some of your training hours, there is an upcoming webinar on infant and toddler brain development and communication that will be presented by the infant and toddler mental health consultants. That webinar will also be I keep thinking it's September, will be next month, Thursday, September the 26th from 1 to 2, same time. And they will be presenting that for you. So registration, just where we were on that website, if you go to those audio conferences, you're able to register from the website. This webinar has been brought to you by the Virginia Infant and Toddler Specialist Network. In order to receive a certificate of participation for this webinar, you must fill out the evaluation form. The evaluation form, you should be able to access it from this webinar. It should be on the right-hand side, and it says AC Evaluation for Building Professional Portfolios. If you're able to download it from there, then you can fill it out, and you can mail, fax, or email it to Child Development Resources. If you're not able to look at you're not able to access that handout from this webinar, you will get a confirmation email directly after this webinar that will give you a link to that evaluation, or you will be able to access it from our website, just like it's shown on the screen. I do see that there was a question about listening to former webinars. Yes, if you, we were able to kind of domino that question through, so I'm glad that one got through. Yes, if you listen to the former webinars, you are able to do the same process of sending in the evaluation to CDR, and you will receive a certificate for that. It is not through the infant toddler specialist specifically. It is through somebody at Child Development Resources, but we can help you with that process if you need help with that. So just another reminder, this is always just a concern. In order for you to receive a certificate of participation, you must complete that evaluation form, and you must send it by mail, fax, or email to Child Development Resources. The information for that will be included in the email that you receive following the webinar. Once your evaluation has been received, a certificate will be sent to you. The contact information for CDR is located on the evaluation that was sent to you after you registered for the webinar. If you have any questions, please contact your local regional infant toddler specialist. Again, you can go to www.va-itsnetwork.org to print out those handouts from today. So that includes the career pathways that Christy mentioned. It includes information regarding the back-to-school incentives, and also information regarding the incentives that Janet had to offer through the technical assistance. So those are located under the Professional Development tab that we showed you and is showing on your screen right now. and under that audio conference and webinar link. We wanted to thank you for your participation in today's webinar and your patience. Like I said, this is one of our first time using this platform, and we really appreciate your patience as we worked through some of the logistical stuff on the technical side. We appreciate you spending your valuable time with us, and we appreciate all the work that you do to enhance the lives of infants and toddlers in group care. We hope that you've enjoyed yourself and learned something new today. You are the foreman of your build, and we're here as your subcontracting partner to help support you as you build a solid foundation for young children. So thank you again for joining us, and if you have any questions.
Lisa,
yes.
There were 2 questions.
Sure.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to make sure you saw that there were 2 questions.
I
Does the IMPACT Registry
sorry.
have an app? That's okay. Are you able to hear me?
I can hear you. I can't see another question, though.
Okay, I got you. The first question was, does the IMPACT have an app that you can download? And as far as my knowledge goes, at this time, there is not an app for that registry process. Hopefully that's a great suggestion. I'll pass that along, but I've not heard of any app development in that department. The second question is, where is the professional development form? And I think the best answer is to contact Mary Sheldon in order to get that information. You can find her information on our website, but you can also reach her at marys@cdr.org. And I'm just looking up, she has another email address, which is pd@va-itsnetwork.org.
And I just want to clarify that's PD as in professional development at
yes.
va-itsnetwork.org. It just sounds very similar over the phone. Great. Well, we're so grateful that you guys joined us today. Again, if there are any more questions, please feel free to reach out to us, and we really appreciate your patience during this time. So thank you so much. Have a great weekend.